has lied to her mother, not allowing her to know that she is homeless. Who is Dylan? And just what is this girl up to? Dylan opened up a bit one January 27th, discussing her situation with Will Spencer. Who is Dylan's mother, and will she eventually show up in Los Angeles? Dylan is staying at the beach house because she has been revealed to be homeless. Will and Dylan have been babysitting Hayes Finnegan when she opened up about her issues. Hayes talks about how much he likes Dylan and wants to spend more time with her. Hayes hasn't gotten to see her in months. Dylan explained to Will that she is good with kids because she grew up with lots of cousins in the family. Dylan always wanted to become a teacher, but she admitted that she did not have the means to go to school because of her housing and money issues. Dylan claims she didn't want to ruin her mother's idea of her California dream, especially with her connection to Luna Nozawa. Could Dylan's mom have once lived in LA? Why does Dylan's situation should show much like Luna's arrival in LA a few months ago? Are these similarities just that, or is there to this fluke? Unfortunately, it is very hard to believe that Dylan is not tired to someone in Los Angeles. The question is, just whose long-lost daughter could Dylan be? Fans have been wanted the Marone family connection revisited for years. Even R.J. Forrester has pointed out that he and Electra Forrester are not biologically related. Could more Marones be returning? And Massimo's daughter, Diana. Ivy Forrester saw an exchange that she mistook for a power play and has ordered Dylan to leave town. Will Ivy pack up and leave, returning to wherever her mother happens to be? Will this also be the end of Will and Electra, leaving the room for Electra to move on as well? Will Dylan's true connection to Los Angeles finally be revealed? New associations threaten to sour relationships on The Bold and the Beautiful after Taylor fell in love with her patient, Deacon. While it remains a secret from Sheila so far, Steffy puts her foot down against the new romance. Elsewhere, Eric starts his secret role as the lead designer of the newly formed Logan. Meanwhile, Dylan and RJ are slated to meet in FC and may feel drawn to each other. The previous week on The Bold and the Beautiful presented Electra's Dylan problem after Electra ordered the former teacher away from her boyfriend. Although trusting her, Electra explicitly asked Dylan to respect her boundaries and stay away from the main building of the beach house. However, Dylan was pulled into babysitting Hayes with Will in the house. Moreover, she ratted Electra's instructions out to Will. Following their babysitting, Dylan showed off her ballet skills to Will by putting on the dancing costume. However, she missed her step and landed on his lap. Unfortunately, they were spied on by Ivy, who had arrived to keep an eye on Will and Dylan. As expected, Ivy proceeded to accost Dylan in her room and warned her off from Electra's boyfriend. Meanwhile, Carter and Daphne planned their wedding as the COO envisioned their future together and painted it for his fiancée. While Carter admitted that Ridge would be his best man, Daphne declared that she wanted Steffy as her bridesmaid. Elsewhere, Deacon professed his love for Taylor, to which the latter responded in kind. The two leaned in for a kiss. As fans know, Steffy discovered her mother's growing romantic interest towards Deacon Sharp after the latter started attending counseling sessions with the psychologist. Steffy listed out the disadvantages of the relationship, including the ethical side of dating a patient and the danger to life for dating Sheila's husband. Although agreeing with her daughter, Taylor found Deacon's advances irresistible. The upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful will find Steffy returning from her San Francisco trip to find her mother getting closer to Deacon. This will likely enrage and scare Steffy since it would endanger Taylor, Deacon, and others due to Sheila's wrath. Unable to convince her mother through reasoning, Steffy may resort to threats. The preview for the week of February 2nd, 2026, hints at Steffy presenting Taylor with an ultimatum to choose between romance with Deacon and a continued relationship with daughter and grandchildren. Although in love with Deacon, Taylor loves Steffy, Kelly, and Hayes more. As such, she will make her decision and relay the same to Deacon. The latter may try to convince her not give up on their romance. Recently, RJ returned to town and was enamored by Electra before learning about her boyfriend Will and their dedicated relationship. Elsewhere, Dylan was thrown in with Will due to unavoidable circumstances, and she seemed to seduce him. However, Ivy saw them and chastised Dylan for crossing her limits, as mentioned before. The Bold and the Beautiful preview suggests Dylan will arrive at the Forrester Creations office and may run into RJ. As the two meet for the first time, they will likely introduce themselves. The soap's storyline hints at the two becoming friendly. They may find out their connections as RJ learns about Dylan put up in Will's beach house. This may be the start of an advantageous friendship. Later, in the future storyline, RJ and Dylan may collaborate to create a rift between Will and Elektra to their advantage. That way, Dylan can woo Will while RJ focuses his attention on Elektra. As viewers already know, Eric was forcefully retired from Forrester Creations, which hurt the founder. Later, when Katie ranted about the problems with her new company, its registration issues, Brooke's threats, and her staffing problems, Eric offered to step in. After initially planning to be a consultant, Eric soon offered to be the lead designer. However, he insisted on secrecy. The upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful will likely find Eric embarking on his project. The preview presents Eric showing some of his designs for the first collection to Katie. The latter will be delighted with the designs, declaring that this is exactly what she was thinking of for her launch collection. Eric may again remind Katie about the importance of secrecy. He may emphasize that the opening collection has the power of making or breaking a company. As such, Eric wants things to be under wraps to boost the surprise factor. Whether Eric succeeds in keeping his role hidden remains to be seen. Stay tuned to The Bold and the Beautiful as relationship drama shakes family bonds and secrets threaten to spill out during the week of February 2nd, 2026. Ivy Forrester has yet again returned to The Bold and the Beautiful, so here's a little bit of a refresher on the character as we gear up for an exciting storyline with her. Ivy Forrester first made her appearance on the daytime soap in July 2014, and she was played by Australian actress Ashley Brewer until Brewer exited in 2018. The actress and her character did not appear on the soap until March 2024, when she returned for a brief visit to Los Angeles. Another brief visit was seen at the end of 2024, which lasted for a while. Following that, Ivy Forrester started being involved in storylines on The Bold and the Beautiful in August 2025, and is a part of an exciting storyline yet again. Keep reading to find out everything about Ivy Forrester. Ivy Forrester is Eric Forrester's brother, John Forrester's daughter, who was brought to Los Angeles from Sydney by Eric and Rick because she was a talented jewelry designer, and they wanted her to work on the new jewelry line for Forrester Creations, effectively replacing Quinn Fuller. Her Australian charm and no-nonsense attitude of living life on her own terms quickly became a fan favorite on The Bold and the Beautiful. After Ivy's arrival in LA, she began working closely with Wyatt Fuller and made a friend in Anley Forrester. She became romantically involved with Liam Spencer, who was about to get married to Hope. However, he ended up being late for the ceremony owing to Quinn pushing Ivy into a river and Liam jumping in to save her. Hope ended up marrying Wyatt, and Liam got involved with Ivy. When Steffy returned to LA, she tried to steal Liam from Ivy, but he decided to stay with her. A snafu in her papers had Ivy and Liam getting married for a short while in 2015 to keep her from getting deported. However, the two separated when the mistake was rectified and when she realized that he still had feelings for Steffy. The two separated and she got close to Wyatt. This era was tension-filled, especially owing to the video that Ivy recorded of Steffy and Allie. A tragic confrontation in The Bold and the Beautiful ended with Allie Forrester's death after Steffy had hit her with a tire iron. Ivy Forrester had ended up witnessing this incident and decided to record a video and get justice for her friend, but Wyatt insisted on protecting Steffy. When Steffy claimed that Allie had died due to hitting her head on a rock after falling, Ivy decided to use that video to leverage her position at Forrester Creations as the new face of Forrester with Steffy. However, his ploy ultimately backfired because Steffy ended up firing her from the company. Ivy's relationship with Wyatt was threatened after she found herself attracted to her cousin, Thomas Forrester, and ended up kissing him. This was a brief and scandalous flirtation that didn't last very long on The Bold and the Beautiful. She ended up getting back together with Wyatt, but their relationship could never get to fruition because she had feelings for Liam again. Soon after, her relationship with Wyatt also blew up, and an incident with Steffy which had her falling downstairs, Ivy decided to fly back home to Australia. Ivy briefly returned in May 2024 and had drinks with Liam, and they shared a kiss, but were interrupted by Steffy, and she ended up cutting her visit short. Ivy next returned in October 2024 after being contacted by Carter Walton to relaunch the Forrester jewelry line. She returned to LA yet again, but this time around, she returned with Electra Forrester, her niece. Ivy and Electra pitched a revived line to Steffy, but she rejected their proposal, and feeling that her rejection was more personal than professional, the duo next presented to Ridge and were approved. Currently, Ivy has stepped into more of a protective aunt role as her niece Electra navigates a relationship with Will Spencer. However, fans are somewhat concerned with Ivy's reaction to Electra and Will's relationship problems on The Bold and the Beautiful, owing to her own history on the soap over the years, where she's never really been as straight-laced as the standards she's holding Electra and Will to. Be it some of her shady actions from the video evidence to the later blackmail, or her messy relationships with the Spencer brothers and her cousin, Ivy has never been afraid to play dirty if it suits her wishes. Nevertheless, it will be exciting to witness Ivy Forrester be involved in a more grounded storyline of The Bold and the Beautiful. Concerning her, instead of focusing on her role as a supporting character to Will and Electra's relationship. The Bold and the Beautiful preview for the week of February 2nd reveals Steffy Forrester will lay down the law with Taylor Hayes. Also coming up, Dylan will run into RJ Forrester. Plus, Eric Forrester will show Katie Logan his designs. B&B spoilers tease Dylan won't obey Ivy Forrester's order to leave LA and never come back. Next week, she'll literally bump into RJ. Dylan will apologize, and RJ will say it's all right. Then he'll introduce himself, telling her he's Steffi's brother. Meanwhile, Eric has been covertly designing for Katie's new fashion company called Logan, and he'll present her and Bill Spencer with his latest designs. "It's exactly what I was thinking of for Logan," she tells Eric and Bill in the B&B Weekly ET preview. Eric will be pleased that she likes what he's done so far. However, he'll remind both Katie and Bill that his status as Logan's lead designer needs to be kept a secret. But how long will it be before someone finds out? Finally, Taylor and Deacon Sharp declared their love to one another on Friday's B&B. The psychiatrist told the restaurateur she was not afraid of how Sheila Carter was going to react when she finds out. Of course, there's one person who will be very afraid, not only for her mother, but for her entire family, and that's Steffy. So, when Taylor tells her daughter she and Deacon are in love and he's going to leave Sheila for her, she won't get the reaction she was expecting. "You will no longer associate with Deacon," Steffy will declare, "or you're gonna lose me and my family." But will Taylor kowtow to her daughter's ultimatum? Stay tuned. Hey B&B fans, are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. Here's what's coming up on The Bold and the Beautiful for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. From a confession to a shocking demand, the next episode promises major twists. Fans can expect Dylan to tell Electra she has something important to tell her, and more. Read on as soap opera news unpacks all the drama ahead. Taylor may be realizing that she actually wants to give in to whatever this thing with Deacon is. He might feel the same, even though they both know he's married to Sheila. They're painfully aware of how she would react if the truth ever came out. Sheila certainly won't be on board with this. Another person who's not on board is Steffy. Because she strongly opposes it, she drops a shocking ultimatum on her mother. Either Taylor lets Deacon go, or she risks losing her connection with her and the rest of the family. That's a lot to swallow. But will Taylor heed her daughter's demands, or follow her forbidden passion? Meanwhile, B&B spoilers for February 2nd tease that Dylan has a confession to make, and it will be to none other than Electra. After Electra returns from her business trip, Dylan reveals that he has something very important to tell her. Will it be about Ivy's shocking demand that Electra leave town and never look back? Or could it involve her moments with Will, the same one where she fell into his lap and also sported that sexy bathing suit. Only time will tell. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers, February 6th, 2026. Dylan shocks Elektra and Will with her news, while Ridge learns about Deacon and Taylor, and more. Read on as Soap Opera News gives you the full day-by-day breakdown of all the drama that happens. That's it for your Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the week of February 2 to 6th, 2026. Do you think Sheila could go back to being crazy and unhinged? What do you think about Taylor and Deacon's chemistry? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to tune in all week long on B&B on CBS. The B&B spoilers for next week reveal that Dylan shares surprising news, Taylor faces a shocking ultimatum, and more. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers reveal that Steffy issues a shocking ultimatum, Dylan bumps into RJ, and more. Here's what's coming up on B&B from February 2 to 6. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon seems ready to put Sheila in the rearview mirror, all because of his developing feelings for Taylor. Good for him, right? Not everyone agrees. Steffy has already made it clear that this is one relationship she will not support. Now she takes it even further by dropping a shocking ultimatum. Steffy tells her mother that if she doesn't drop Deacon, she will cut her out of her life. And with that, Taylor could lose her daughter and her family. It's a heavy price to pay, and Deacon isn't even sure how they're supposed to walk away from something that's just getting started. Meanwhile, Katie is finally making moves when it comes to her fashion house. Eric shows her something new, possibly a fresh sketch, and she immediately reacts, saying it's exactly what she had in mind for Logan. Katie shares her excitement with Bill, but Eric insists their dealings need to stay under wraps for now. Over at the office, Dylan runs into RJ, who wastes no time introducing himself. He lets her know he's Steffy's brother. Could sparks be flying between these two already? From surprise news to shocking ultimatums, it's a dramatic week ahead on The Bold and the Beautiful. As the spoiler video confirms, you can't afford to miss it. What did The Bold and the Beautiful let Steffy have? 5 minutes of peace? Was it 10? Well, however long it was, her moment of relative calm is over now, that's for sure. In the sneak peek video the show aired at the end of Friday's episode to tease the action coming the first week of February, Stephanie's namesake granddaughter hits the roof over Taylor's newfound happiness with Deacon. The couple themselves may have said, "I love you," but Steffy hates it. Every bit of it. Not only that, but Forrester's CEO will stop at nothing to end the relationship before it's even truly begun. But how? What could possibly tear apart the twosome that is as surprised as anyone that they found each other? No, Steffy doesn't point out that Sheila will likely kill Taylor, Deacon, or both of them. She informs her mother that if she doesn't break off her illicit romance with Hope's father, she'll be cut out of her and the grandkids' lives. Meanwhile, Dylan has a classic rom-com meet-cute with RJ, complete with sending his drink splashing to the ground. Since Will and Elektra are as paired up as it gets, perhaps Dylan and RJ can commiserate, ultimately deciding that they were made for each other in the first place? Last but not least, Eric knocks Katie's socks off with his latest designs. "They're exactly what I wanted for Logan," she cheers. But of course, even as the fashion house takes a big step toward putting out its first line, a dark cloud looms overhead. Eric's hiring, he reminds Katie, has to be kept a secret. To tell the truth, we love that Eric is being so hush-hush, because we're dying to see the looks on Ridge and Brooke's faces when they see the goat once again become the toast of the town. Steffy and Elektra continue to enjoy their night in San Francisco. Steffy thinks it's cute how concerned Ivy is with Elektra and her love life. Elektra thinks she's a little too concerned, but clearly believes something is amiss with Will and Dylan. She says she completely trusts Will, but Dylan is rubbing her the wrong way. Steffy gets it and notes how many friends who have betrayed Elektra. She thinks it's normal to have her guard up. Steffy thinks it's amazing what Elektra and Will are doing for Dylan. She thinks Dylan's creativity would make her great for a position at Forrester. Elektra wants to help, but thinks it could be months before she gets a position and doesn't want her staying with Will for that long. V is in Dylan's room, going after her for cozying up to Will. Dylan says she had permission to be in the main house with Will and Hayes, but Ivy thinks that did not mean she should be all up in her bikini. She thinks Dylan is taking advantage of Will and Electra's kindness. She was practically naked and lusting over her best friend's boyfriend. Ivy wonders if she has any respect for herself or Electra. She demands to know what Dylan is up to and who the hell she is. Sheila is closing up at the pizza kitchen and looking at a picture of Deacon. Deacon and Taylor are hanging at her office. She tells Deacon the reason she doesn't want to give him up as a patient is she doesn't want to lose their connection. Deacon says he lives for the moments between them. Taylor wants to be transparent and tells Deacon he really needs to consider Sheila's past, as nothing can erase the crimes and the lying. All his relationships will improve the minute he cuts ties with Sheila and ends his marriage. Steffy and Electra continue to enjoy their night in San Francisco. Steffy thinks it's cute how concerned Ivy is with Electra and her love life. Electra thinks she's a little too concerned, but clearly believes something is amiss with Will and Dylan. She says she completely trusts Will, but Dylan is rubbing her the wrong way. Steffy gets it and notes how many friends who have betrayed Electra. She thinks it's normal to have her guard up. Steffy thinks it's amazing what Electra and Will are doing for Dylan. She thinks Dylan's creativity would make her great for a position at Forrester. Electra wants to help, but thinks it could be months before she gets a position and doesn't want her staying with Will for that long. Ivy is in Dylan's room, going after her for cozying up to Will. Dylan says she had permission to be in the main house with Will and Hayes, but Ivy thinks that did not mean she should be all up in her bikini. She thinks Dylan is taking advantage of Will and Electra's kindness. She was practically naked and lusting over her best friend's boyfriend. Ivy wonders if she has any respect for herself or Electra. She demands to know what Dylan is up to and who the hell she is. Deacon and Taylor are hanging at her office. She tells Deacon the reason she doesn't want to give him up as a patient is she doesn't want to lose their connection. Deacon says he lives for the moments between them. Taylor wants to be transparent and tells Deacon he really needs to consider Sheila's past, as nothing can erase the crimes and the lying. All his relationships will improve the minute he cuts ties with Sheila and ends his marriage. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the week of February 2nd to 6th reveal that Dylan and RJ Forrester cross paths. "I'm so sorry," Dylan says as she bumps into RJ. "I'm Steffy's brother, RJ Forrester," he introduces himself. Katie Logan Spencer is impressed with Eric Forrester's design. "It's exactly what I was thinking of for Logan," Katie beams. "It has to be kept a secret," Eric insists. Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes could no longer resist temptation. "I don't know how the hell we'd give it up," Deacon tells Taylor. Steffy Forrester issues a final warning to Taylor. "You will no longer associate with Deacon, or you're going to lose me and our family," Steffy insists. Steffy gives Taylor an ultimatum. Dylan tells Electra that she has something important to tell her. RJ shows Carter some designs. Electra and Will are surprised by Dylan's news. Taylor and Deacon vow to find a way to be together. Liam learns Eric is Katie's new designer. Ridge feels immense guilt. Deacon and Taylor share a forbidden kiss. Steffy reveals to Ridge that Taylor has feelings for Deacon. Sheila remains blissfully unaware of Deacon and Taylor. Here's a quick recap of last week's The Bold and the Beautiful. Monday, January 26th. Steffy joins Electra on a business trip to San Francisco. Finn inadvertently causes Dylan and Will to spend time together. Tuesday, January 27th. Electra and Steffy prepare a jewelry presentation for mega-rich socialite Dottie Bright and her assistant Joseph. Carter tells Daphne about his plans for the future. Wednesday, January 28th. Brooke encourages RJ to work with Ridge. A wealthy buyer visits Electra and Steffy. Ivy witnesses a close moment between Will and Dylan. Thursday, January 29th. Ivy confronts Dylan. Electra confides in Steffy. Friday, January 30th. Ivy demands that Dylan leave town immediately. Sheila is grateful to Taylor for saving her marriage. A special moment is shared by Deacon and Taylor.